Hey guys, it's Leah with Gumball Properties. I thought it would be great to talk about the top 5 moving mistakes that people make. So, just give you the top 5, give you a problem, and then give you a solution for it. I have moved, oh my gosh, hold on, let me think. I have lived in Wisconsin, Minnesota, trying to imagine all the moves in my head. Connecticut, Florida, Oregon, Maryland, Pennsylvania. Oh, I did live in Vermont for a little while. I forgot that one. Oh my gosh. And Tennessee. So packing and moving can definitely get easier, but a lot of times we still make the same mistakes every time we move. Because a lot of things depend on your timeline, if you have kids, if you have pets, if you have all of these things. And there's always that emotional factor too, whether you're leaving because it's a good thing or you're leaving because it's a not so good thing. Like our emotions are like roller coasters, and moving can be so difficult. And so I just thought maybe going over top 5 things would help people. So the first one I have is inefficient packing. You can take this 2 different ways. So a lot of times when I'm moving, I will have a separate suitcase for myself of the must-have items that I need for when I get to where I'm going. Because you always have to plan in case if you hire a moving company or if you do it yourself, like you want to have those must-have things for yourself in a suitcase. Your toiletries, a couple of outfits, shoes, comfortable, all that kind of stuff. Because you don't want to pack all of your things and then put them in a box and then wonder where the heck they went. You need to have efficient packing for both your little personal bag for when you're moving and just in general too, because a lot of times I've packed boxes and I haven't packed them properly. And so there hasn't been enough stuff in there. So I put another box on top of that box and then it just crunches in. And then the whole Tetris of the packing just ends up doing this kind of a thing. And it's not great. So inefficient packing. So that is the problem. So the solution is figure out your timeline, declutter, and get the appropriate quality moving boxes, because that is going to make your life so much easier. The second pain point, I think, is not giving yourself enough time. Packing always takes longer than expected. Let me say that again. Packing always takes longer than expected. And especially if you're crunched for time and it's like a last minute move and you got to be where you got to be, you have to try and prioritize as much as you can to try and give yourself enough time. And you also need rest, and you need to make sure that you're getting nourishment so that you're eating and sleeping and drinking water and all the things. So a solution for that is if you have the time, let's say that you have 1 week. Oh, that's a terrible analogy. So we're going to cut that right there. Not giving yourself enough time. Okay, Brian, you can go again. So the solution for not having enough time is if you can start, or not giving yourself enough time, if you can start by packing your non-essential items first. Start in the room that you use the least and try and pack those items first. Or if it's items that you know, like in your kitchen or other places that you just don't use that much, start with those. And then if you have the opportunity to move those, if you're moving close enough to go ahead and get those out of the way, then do that. But that's the best way to start, and then save up the bulk of your time for all the important things. So I think the third pain point for moving is forgetting to label every single box. And I'm totally guilty of this, but it will definitely help you, because I've been in the moment. I'm like, ugh, gosh, whatever. I'm just going to put kitchen on this one and then I'll just figure it out when I get there. And by just putting like such a broad thing on there, like kitchen, then I open it up and I'm like, okay, great. This is in the kitchen, but I've got so many things in here and I needed to find a spatula or I need to find a different item, and it's great. Where the heck is it? So get yourself some Sharpies, permanent markers, and make sure that you are writing the room first and then do a couple bullet points just to help yourself. If you can also get like items together, that might also help you in the end too. Okay. The fourth is underestimating the amount of stuff that you actually have. I think that a lot of people, you know what, to be totally honest, I think we have too much stuff in general anyways. I said it. I think we, in this day and age, have too many things. I think we need to scale down a little bit, and that moving is like the perfect purge for doing that, because you can go through all the things, especially if you plan ahead. Like one of the pain points we talked earlier, if you give yourself enough time, then you can go through all of your things, donate it, give it to friends, give it to charity, your local church, anywhere. People are always happy to take donations and charity for things like this. But if you don't realize how much stuff that you have and you don't start to pack it and go through it and weed out the things you don't need, then you can add up additional costs later for when the moving van comes and they're like, okay, you are, because they go everything by weight. So if you're like way over, you're going to pay for it and it's going to be super painful. So if you don't take your own inventory of what you have and what you want to take with you, that could really bite you in the end. Okay. And the last, number 5, is really research your moving companies. There's, unfortunately, moving companies can have a lot of fees sometimes. And if you don't ask questions, then you don't know. So there could be hidden fees. You want to know about theft, damage, how many other loads they're going to be carrying, when your delivery window is going to be. You just want to ask questions. Look at reviews that they've had, or maybe ask friends and family if they have moving companies that they would recommend. But once you do that, then that's your solution, is really researching, finding out, and get more than one quote too. And also factor in a quote if you decided to move yourself, but make sure you take time, energy, and all of those things into account as well if you want to move yourself, just because it is a lot to do that, but it's totally doable. So by really evaluating those 5 mistakes and trying to work through those, it should help you have a much easier move to, no matter where you're going. And then you can always just go from there and have fun. Good luck.